Well, greetings, programs, and happy Wednesday night. Welcome to A Look on the Plus Side. I'm your host, Rob Whiteside. Thank you guys for being with us on the Park Adventurers Club. That's the name of this channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to it. We would love to have you around for lots more content, and we'll talk about more about that at the end. But for now, please give us a like because it helps people to find us. And if you're here with us live tonight, welcome. Please chat along. That's why we do it live. And who else is going to be here tonight? It's this fella, Mr. Patrick Hackett. What's up?
End of line.
Already you're starting with that?
Already.
You know what? We're going to be talking about Tron Ares tonight, the 2025 Disney release. And it's so funny, Patrick, talking to people about Tron. It's so divisive. Like, a lot of people are like, they're like, I mean, with Avatar, I think we've all decided we don't love the content, but we love the land. Maybe.
I mean, that's what I think we should decide on.
But with this one, you know what? I grew up with Tron, the first one. It was all we had back in the day. We didn't have your fancy Doomsdays and Supermans. It was Tron, the original 1982 version. And that movie, as we've talked about on several shows, I wouldn't necessarily recommend to most people because I get that it is stuck in that 1980s. This is our vision of what computers in the future are like. I get that. I understand that. It doesn't keep me from loving the movie. But then they came out with Tron Legacy. And I feel like that's a good movie, and you know, we could talk about those another time I think we've talked about them before, but Tron Legacy I felt like was a pretty solid movie that stood on its own a little bit, but also harkened back to the days of the original. Mm-hmm. Tron Ares didn't do what I expected it to do, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight, but it's so funny how, again, so many people have different opinions about it. Did you see Tron Ares in the theater, and are you a Tron guy?
Well, you know, go back and watch our review on Tron, which I enjoyed Tron, but it's not nearly the movie that I thought it was, so I didn't recommend it either. But I do enjoy Tron. Legacy is probably my favorite, which we haven't reviewed in a while, so we should definitely get on that. And yeah. I did not see Ares in the theater. I'm one of our chat members came in and said the real way to see this was in the IMAX with the stereoscopic 3D. It felt like you were in the grid. I watched it on a decent sized television. I started watching it on my phone while doing the dishes. I was like, this isn't right. And you can say hi to Duncan, by the way, who is making his presence felt.
Yeah, back in the back there. We love Duncan. So looking at this on Disney Plus, there are two ways to watch it. There's the original cinematic release as presented in most theaters, and the IMAX enhanced Tron Ares. So you can do both if you want to watch either way.
I didn't even realize that. I didn't see that at all. You always pull up stuff for the menu that, like, I swear I don't see. I would have watched the enhanced version, even though I don't have an IMAX screen. I would have enjoyed it taking up the whole screen and really getting that sense of being on the grid.
Yeah, I get excited about things like extras, and I go to the extras here, and it says, view a promo of this release. And 90% of the time on Disney Plus, it is not the trailer. It's just like a clip, like a random clip that they pulled out of the movie. And I don't know who that's for. It's like, I don't either. Honey, this Tron thing, is that a biographical picture? Well, let me watch this 3-minute promo. Oh, this isn't at all what I thought it was. Let's move on. Oh. I feel like there's got to be a reason they don't put the trailers on here, but like that whole Inner World, I want those, or I
miss the Inner World trailer. We need to bring back the Inner World trailer,
or the you won't believe Disney's flubber, like stuff like that. I mean,
yeah, bring that back. Yeah. I think we're nostalgia mining right now, and I think that's what we should be doing.
As you look at the board, when you look at Tron, you can see there's Legacy, there's Tron, there's a TV show called Uprising. That's really all the Tron like movie TV content that exists. There's a short somewhere that was on the DVD, I think, as well, but that's about it. And then you don't really have any other options for Tron other than books and comic books, games, and of course the attraction. So we'll talk about the movie, and then we'll move in to talk about the attraction. Which
I'm going to be very disappointed in talking about. I'm excited to talk about it, but disappointed at the same time. We'll
Okay,
get to it.
well, we'll talk about that. Tron Lightcycle Run, for those of you guys that don't know, had an overlay for this movie in particular. So we'll mention some of the Tron activations in the parks that have happened, but in general, it'll be about that overlay that happened. So let's start with this. Wrong stat board. That is Fast and Furious. If you missed our Fast and Furious review, that was last week with Ron Deanna. You should check it out.
Synergy, baby.
It's so fun. But this is what we're talking about tonight. It's the stat board. It's an hour and 59 minutes, maybe 2 if you add the post-credit scene. 2 flat. It's, you know, I like a 90-minute movie. That's me. Rating is PG-13. The release was October 10th, 2025, just last October. It hasn't even been out a year yet. The budget was $220 million. Now that fluctuates. If you look some places, it's like it's 180. $220 million is kind of the internet favorite for how much this movie cost to make. Box office, obviously a box office disappointment at 142, and the company is Disney. Let's start at the top. Box office. Why do we think it didn't perform? Did people not understand this movie? Was it another John Carter situation? Was it people didn't want more Tron? Or was it Jared Leto?
No. There it is.
Already out of the gate. Talking about Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think people are tired of him for a variety of reasons, and some of them very good. You can ignore, his on-set behavior and talk about his off-set behavior, but the fact of the matter is he's overexposed. He is not nearly as good of an actor that he thinks he is, and he has been box office poisoned for a while now.
Duncan agrees. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, when I'm watching this movie, and I see Jared Leto, I think about like some of the roles he's chosen recently. It was like Skeletor, which you never see him. Hatbox
Ghost, which you never see him.
It's like, why did he even need to be the guy for either of those? I do not know.
He did,
but then,
does he need another wing on his house? I don't know.
So he does some very strange roles, and for some reason, sometimes it feels like, oh, okay, well, that kind of fits. I can see Jared Leto in that one. But in this one, the role that he plays is Ares, that he is like our title character.
He is Ares.
And he is, he's supposed to be a computer program. Patrick, why do I feel like computer programs should be like clean cut? Like Athena looks more like a computer program to me. He looks more like...
I don't think I ever clicked with that. Honestly, I said all those bad things about Jared Leto, and I hold to them. He did not distract me with his performance in this movie like he does in a lot of others. He's not overly domineering. I think the look is fine for a computer program. I don't think I ever really processed that. Like, why would a computer program have a beard? Why would a computer program be human? But then why would it have a beard and long hair?
Yeah. Benjamin said the new MCP. Yeah, that was a little bit of a stretch. Who am I? You are Master Control. Okay. If he was Master Control, then it feels like he would have more autonomy to do whatever he wanted. And apparently, once he exhibited any kind of free will, we were out the door on it. So, I wanted another Tron movie, and what I was not expecting is a movie that was the dangers of AI mixed with 3D printing.
Yep, that is 100% what this movie is, and you nailed it on the head. It feels like we're preaching about the dangers of AI, which are many, a lot. Maybe we should do more growing orange trees in Alaska and less building war machines and 3D printing them. Thankfully, they only last for 24 minutes?
29. 29. So you would have messed up on the trivia on that had I thrown that out there, but yeah, or maybe that was you were baiting me. Maybe you were like,
I'm not baiting you. Okay, this is gonna be bad trivia this week.
There's the part where his mom says for 25 minutes he goes, it's 29. But honestly, but it's sort of reversed, right? Most people are a little bit afraid of AI these days, or some people, not most people. Some people are afraid of AI these days, but it wasn't about that. It was about it becoming sentient and giving it, the ability to live once it's sentient. I don't know. But the 3D printing thing is so funny because my son had a 3D printer and the little spikes that it leaves behind, they kind of show that. They're not as easy to get off.
So much.
Right, they're not as easy
Yeah,
to pull off as they do here. They just fall off like they're just like pins, and they're
yeah.
done, which is great. Like make that feature in real 3D printing, and maybe I'll buy a printer. But um, there was a lot of 3D printing, and which is weird because it's like, hey, we got to rush to save him. 3D print, 3D print, 3D print. It was a little bit, yeah, it was a little bit silly.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting this. Like, there has been sort of the thought all along that some point they would bring the grid to real life, and maybe Clue was about to do that in Legacy. I think that was his mission, was to bring that into the real world and then take over the real world and clean it up the same way he did the grid. But
Yeah.
I honestly, I was expecting a continuation. We're not that far off of the second movie. I was expecting a
Yes.
continuation of the second movie, and we do not get that in any way. Like Cillian
We
Murphy
do at the
was,
end.
dude. That's a tag at the end. That's hardly. I don't know.
Okay.
Cillian Murphy was like set up to be like the next like Dillinger in charge, and
Yeah.
in Legacy, and then he's nowhere in this. They kind of jump a generation after that. So Julian Dillinger is the grandson of. So
Hmm.
Gillian Anderson is his mother, and then maybe the Cillian Murphy character was her brother, I guess. I don't know, but so it's not even the same Dillinger. And then
No.
we don't see Sam. They kind of write him out immediately in favor
Yeah,
of
they
these
write him out.
sisters who have taken over
And
the company.
what's her name? Uh, 13 from House. Why can't I think of her character's name from this? What was her name in Tron?
You're talking about Olivia.
Yeah,
It was Cora.
Cora. And Cora's they're written off. Boom.
Yeah, why? I don't know why that happened. But anyway, so it didn't go the way I expected. So we go into this world where it's not the one we left, and so in very much the same way that Tron Legacy started, which was so long after the original Tron, they have to tell us through these news clippings what has happened since last we left this world. And it's
Hmm.
this kind of ride through the credits where they're like, they start out again with Kevin Flynn talking about the possibility of bringing that world into ours. And then they talk about the hierarchy of the companies, that Dillinger went to start his own company, and Incom still exists, but these sisters have taken over. And then one of them passes away, but the other one is at the helm. And, then they're releasing a new game. So they kind of put us in that, but you have to be paying attention in the beginning credits to all of this information if you didn't see the first two. Do you think it's enough, or would you be completely lost if this was your first entry into Tron?
I don't think this is. It's more of a haha, legacy sequel than a sequel to Legacy. It's not a direct sequel. It's a completely different movie, and I think that you don't need to be caught up. I think all of that is just giving you you're building the world. It's all world building, and which is okay because I'm all about show me instead of tell me. Don't just have the characters have awkward dialogue. I like that opening montage. It kind of got me into the place where I needed to be for this film. I don't think it was setting up anything to continue from the last film, except for to tell us that the characters that we like are not going to be there.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the cast. So Jared Leto is the lead in this one. He plays
Mhm.
Ares. Greta Lee plays Eve Kim, one of the two
Mhm.
sisters who had taken over Incom from
Mhm.
Sam Flynn, who had disappeared. And again, they sort of allude to that at the end, but I don't know, man. It feels a little bit like the Force Awakens, where we don't, we're looking for Luke, and we don't see him until the last second. And then they're like, "Oh, you got to wait 2 years to find out what happens to Luke." I don't know that we'll ever know what happens to Sam and Cora, because I don't know that we're going to see a
I
Tron
don't think we
4.
will.
I was surprised we saw a Tron 3, but yeah. So then you've got Jeff Bridges. Spoiler: Jeff Bridges shows up as Kevin Flynn, and we see him in the beginning in sort of archival footage, and then we see him at another point in the movie. Evan Peters. Evan Peters is interesting because he was Quicksilver in the X-Men movies,
Mhm.
and now he's Julian Dillinger, the grandson of Dillinger, who was the bad guy in Tron.
And can I just say, he understood the assignment. He
Yeah.
he he knew what movie he was in and the role he was playing.
So you hated him the way you were supposed to hate him in this one.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
He had that sniveling nepo baby down pat.
Okay. Well, so he was also in WandaVision. So I guess they had him on some kind of a contract or something to bring him into this one. Gillian Anderson. It was surprising to me to see her name in these credits from the X-Files because I haven't really seen her in much that I know of recently. So for her to be playing his mother, Elizabeth Dillinger, was
Mm-hmm.
interesting. But then, from there, it kind of falls apart a little bit. I don't know that there are any other real like standouts of people in here. Like AJ Singh is in here. I've seen him in other things. Seth Flores is in here. I've seen him in some other things, but I mean they're not even big parts of the movie really. They're kind of Scooby Gang for Eve at the end, but other than that, I don't.
Yeah,
We don't really see much
there's
of them.
Hassan Minhaj from The Daily Show, who plays a brief role.
Oh, I
Um,
had it reversed. I was calling him uh I was calling him AJ and Seth Flores, but it was Hassan
yeah.
and Arturo are their real names.
And
That's how
honestly,
little they were in the
one of
movie. Like I don't know.
oh yeah, Jodie Turner Smith, probably one of the better roles as Athena.
Yeah. But again, the cast was small, and the budget for this one, like we said, was 220 million. Usually, that's somebody asking for a lot of money. Maybe it was Jared Leto, but I don't know that he needed to be in it. So I don't know. You needed a marquee. You could have gone back to the original cast from Legacy. I feel
Hmm.
like, and I feel like there could have been a different movie, and I would still like to see that movie. Um, but also, the purpose of this movie is to bring Tron into our world, bring the grid into our world. And they kind of do it a little bit, but I feel like they could have done it bigger. Like it felt very
Oh, you think
small.
so?
Yeah,
Oh,
it felt very
really?
small. Now, obviously, we saw the
That's
recognizer
one
at
of
the end.
my critiques of my own viewing of the film is that I feel like because it's supposed to be so big that I didn't do this film a service because I watched it on my TV at home and literally started watching it on my cell phone before I was like, this is ridiculous. I'll finish the dishes and then I'll go watch the movie. Um, because I feel like the scope is huge, although it feels like a city, it feels like a big city, and I don't feel like we're claustrophobic at all. I think it's really expanded out. Yeah, I like the scope of it. I thought it was really well done with that aspect.
Okay. Um, the director, and I see Benjamin talking about this in chat, the director who directed this, and I can't quite pronounce his name, Joachim Ronin? Joachim Ronin? Is that am I mispronouncing that correctly?
I don't know, my
He did
friend.
Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, which was the sequel of the Maleficent series, and then he also was director on Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. So
So they just give him the bad parts of IP that they're like ready to kill. Is that what we're doing here?
maybe that's his job. Maybe he's the cleanup man. Who knows? But yeah, he did. He did. It was a nail in the coffin, I guess, for the Pirates series. So here he is with Johnny D. I don't know the story is the problem that I have, and maybe part of it is it's not the story that I wanted. Maybe that's part of the problem. And then but for the movie itself, like I think it's a good enough movie. I just don't know
Mm-hmm.
that it's the Tron movie I wanted. I have that problem with some movies, like the Fantastic Four with Michael B. Jordan would have been not a horrible movie if you didn't tell me it was a Fantastic Four movie. It was a horrible Fantastic Four movie. Like it shouldn't have even been a Fantastic Four movie.
That's like how I feel about Cruella. Is that if I didn't know that was a prequel to 101 Dalmatians, I actually enjoy that movie a whole lot more. If it was like, if we just at the end tag her as Cruella and I didn't know that going in, I would enjoy it a lot more. I can see what you're saying, but I think you're not giving this enough credit. I think you're poking too many holes, but that's what we do when we look on the plus side. We go in pretty deep, and that and we go and we do this. We look at all the flaws and all the good stuff, and come to a verdict. But I think you're being a little hard on it.
Again, I love Tron. This
Yeah.
wasn't the Tron movie I was expecting. And so
Mhm.
if you were ready to give me the other one that I wanted right after this, which maybe they were, then I would have said, okay, all right, just as long as that one's on the books, kind of like the James Cameron plan of how many movies he had going for Avatar. If there was another one on the books and we were ready to do it, that's great. I think the guys who wrote Once Upon a Time are also the ones that were involved with Lost, who also, Edward Kitnis, and I forget the other gentleman's name. They were the ones who wrote Tron Legacy. I liked Tron Legacy. I thought it was a beautiful way to bring the old Tron into the new world and tell a good story while kind of Force Awakens it, where it's like some of it's just like it's retelling the old thing. The guy gets caught into the machine, has to, solve something on the grid to be able, fight against this bad guy on the grid to be able to get out and get home. So the base is there. It's almost a retelling, but it's a sequel. So I wanted this one to be a continuation of that story. Even if we had problems with the actor who played Sam, we could have gone with a new Sam, maybe. I don't know, or just made it Korra's movie. I just would have liked to have seen them continue from the last one, because it's almost like they ramped everything up and then they said, "Here's a new movie, then we're going to change everything." All the
15
rules of
years
the world.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we changed too many rules of the world. I know you get big into world building and what the rules are, but I don't think we changed too much. I think it's an evolution.
Okay. Tron Evolution.
Mhm.
So here's
It's a
the,
better
the
name.
gist of the movie is that once it opens up, we have two companies and they're competing for this thing that's called the permanence code. They're able to bring things out of the grid. They're able to use their technology to bring things out of the grid into the real world, but they only last 29 minutes, which I don't know who came up with that number. Very interesting, but they only last 29 minutes. So there's this
Hey,
permanence
did you
code.
ever check that they were doing it in real time at any point in time? Because I always am intrigued when they do that. Like in Hercules, when Hades says it's only halftime at the exact dead center of the movie. But I was wondering if at any point in time, especially at the end, it would have been great if they were doing it in real time. Did you notice that? I know you noticed things like that.
I don't think it was in real time, because every one of them felt like a different amount of time.
Agreed. Yeah,
I mean,
missed opportunity there, I think.
yeah, because if you think about the fact that this movie is an hour and 59 minutes,
It's too
29
many
minutes at a
minutes.
time, there would be four times that they would do it and they wouldn't overlap. I don't know. The one at
Yeah,
the end where Athena is trying to catch up with Eve, that one felt like it was longer than 29 minutes that she was around.
agreed. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point. I guess I could have done that, but you know how I don't like to pick things apart, Patrick.
Nope, that's what we do.
All right, so they're looking for the permanence code that will allow things to be brought into the world and stay in the world. And so, they go back and forth, and Eve spends this time in the Arctic trying to uncover some stuff off of old Kevin Flynn machines, and she ends up finding the permanence code and then uses it, and that's great. And then meanwhile, Julian Dillinger, our bad guy with the Dillinger company, is using his resources to hack in to see what she is doing. And then once he finally realizes she's got the code and she's on her way back, he then sends his minions out to get her, and then he brings her into the grid, and then she gets to see what that's all about, and then she gets out of the grid. And then we need to get Jared Leto back into the grid before his 29 minutes are up. And then he needs to get back out of the grid so that he can save them. So there's a lot of in and out of the grid in this one. They kind of hop in and out willy-nilly.
No, Hoppers is a different movie.
Oh, Jumper? How about that? Remember that movie? So that's the basic gist of the movie, is this corporate espionage back and forth, and Julian gets a little dark with it, where he's willing to kill Eve in order to get the code. So she destroys the code that's on a drive. She gets sucked into the grid. They can read that she knows somewhere in the back recesses of her mind she has that data, and if they separate it from her, she will die. He's like, yeah, go ahead and do that. I just need that code.
Yeah, just go ahead and do that.
And it's at this point where our hero Ares decides that
I
he
guess
is going to fight for the users, and he's going to help her escape as long as she will make him a real boy.
very Pinocchio. Yep, 100% very Pinocchio.
Yep. And so, what's interesting is after that happens, there's a stakes. There are stakes at that point where he can't get killed again, because if he gets killed again, he's dead because he has been made
Yeah,
real outside of the grid. But if he had gotten killed without that, he would also have been deleted in the grid. So either way, he wasn't going to make it. But I definitely felt that they made me feel like he was at risk once that happened. Like, oh no,
yeah,
don't hit him,
peril.
don't kill him.
A lot
Yeah,
of peril. Yeah,
yeah.
stakes were
Speak,
high.
Speaking of rules, the Tron Lightcycle originally with the walls and everything.
Okay, this one I will get you on. Yes,
Okay,
go ahead.
right. Had very specific rules, but it was on like a 2D plane. It would go down and this, and if you hit the wall, it was hard. It would kill you. You're out. I always assumed it had energy and it would just blow you up. It wouldn't just be like you hit your head against a concrete wall. It would just you'd be gone. This one, they play fast and loose with those, like in the real
Fast and
world.
loose with the rules and how this works.
Tell the people, talk to them
Sometimes,
about it.
sometimes it splits police cars in half. It splits buses. Other times it just wraps you up like a cocoon. What is this? I thought it was always just that like sharp line, and I guess when it came out into the real world, it had to have different rules. But sometimes it's a wall you can't go against. Sometimes it blows you up. Sometimes it splits right through you. It could be twirled on a baton. Yeah, I didn't dig how much they messed around with the rules with that, and how it just kind of in the superhero logic, it was exactly what it needed to be in the moment. It wasn't consistent.
Yeah. I was looking for a place like in the movie where where I could see that it happening. I know that when they take their light cycles out into the real world, the wall isn't on, but then when they get into a position where they want to like overtake Eve, then they turn the walls on.
Mhm.
So uh, yeah, it's a here's a shot of it where let's see. Hang on a second. They apparently like turn it on and just like smack this cop car right here.
Yeah. So this is what it's like. It feels like it was supposed to be the whole time. Is you turn it on and then it splits things in half. It doesn't make these walls, and I love that you can turn it off and on. All right, cool. The energy goes right through the car, but then that power doesn't seem to stay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the rules are on that one. I was what was I
Let me
watching? I was
look rules.
watching Sinners, and I was trying to figure out like the vampire rules because they
You
vary
love
from movie
rules,
to
man.
movie as well. Anyway, so they're in the real world, and that one part of it is a little odd, but the rest of it, the bikes look very similar to the bikes from
Sick.
Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
Um, and the effects are pretty cool. I guess that's where all the money went in this. Again, you're spending $220
Has to.
million. Probably some of that's got to be marketing. I'm assuming, but a lot
Mhm.
of it had to have been effects and things that they were using in this one. But the original Tron movie, they made that one on like a shoestring. I feel like. So there's a lot of chasing. There's a lot of chasing. There's a lot of
A
stakes.
lot of
There's a lot
chasing.
of timers. So we've got to we hardly get a break as this is going through, and that's fun. I feel like that there's this movie doesn't have a lot of downtime. So as far as directing goes, I think it's well put together. I think the mystery is there. All of that is as a movie, I like. Or do you have any problems with any of that? Like, this is a fairly new movie, so I can't say like it's going to stand the test of time in 10 years, but I don't see why it wouldn't.
Hmm. It feels good, technology wise. Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like there's some practical effects, like when they throw like the motorcycle off the parking garage, and that happens. So I think overall the movie feels good. Let's talk about the music for a second, because the last movie,
Yeah.
the music slapped. It was Daft Punk. It was
Mhm.
legendary. It was like kind of their opus, because I feel like they broke up afterwards, or not long afterwards. But it was the thing that I think a lot of people really remember from that, and when you go to the attraction at Magic Kingdom or in Shanghai, you hear that in the courtyard as you're approaching, and then you hear it throughout the attraction, and it's just awesome. They went with Nine Inch Nails on this one. I guess they couldn't get
And
Daft
not
Punk.
Trent Reznor and Atticus Finch. They went with Nine Inch Nails, so that which is really interesting. They went by the band name instead of the individuals' names that they go to when they're doing their movie music. Movie music.
Movie music. I will say though, what was really funny with this one is that when they showcased this at D23 Expo 2 years ago, we're on the eve of the 2026 one, but for the 2024 one, they turned the whole stage red. They brought out Jared Leto. They brought out, I believe they brought out Jeff Bridges, and I can't remember who else came out on the stage at that time. But Jared Leto came out, and he was kind of off to the side by himself. And then they left, and then they show Nine Inch Nails as like the big logo in the thing, and then a door opens up, and it's them, and they wave, and then the door closes. Like they didn't play. They didn't do anything. They didn't talk. They just like the door opened, they waved, and I guess that was so strange. But I've said this to other people, and you can mock me on this one. Will Smith does all the music for anything he's ever done. Wild Wild West. That's the Men in Black. He always does like that end song for any of those movies, the big blockbusters that he does. Like
I remember the one from Ali.
I said that. Okay, fine. For a lot of them, for a while, he was always doing the song.
Yes.
For this one,
did you want 30 Seconds to Mars?
Why didn't we have 30 Seconds to Mars? It feels like the same family of music, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know. It could have been. I enjoyed the score significantly, and like there was a time when I do believe lyrics kicked in, and I was like, yeah, let's go. I love Nine Inch Nails. It was really well done, and I think they did the best they could without getting Daft Punk, without having Daft Punk there.
Yeah, but that was
a good
that was really key to the first movie. I mean, the Tron Legacy movie was that music took it to like a whole nother level. All right, so let's talk about the fact that they get into the nostalgia a bit. The Ares character apparently loves the 80s, and then
mode.
Yeah, and then they have this. You reach out, touch faith. It's like your own personal Jesus. You get it. There's a recreation of Flynn's office within the Incom office that they I guess used for things, and it's got like Rubik's cubes and all kinds of stereotypical this was the 80s stuff inside of it. So the 80s are a thing. They go and they get into this office, and they're like, we need to send you into this machine, and you need to find somehow to get into this machine. Once you get in this machine, you have to find the permanence code. It's in there. It's in there. We know it. We can't get it without you. So you go in there. And so he goes in, and then we see like the original Lightcycle. He's like, oh, classic. And then we see Bit. Bit is in there. But that's one of those things where that's a lot of stuff that if you didn't see the original movie, I feel like this stuff would be lost on you. Do you think that it's still like it holds up on its own?
I think it holds up on its own because I don't think it matters. And when we get to the end, I'll explain why. Because I think that if you know about Tron and you're watching this because you're a Tron fan, bully for you. You had a lot of great stuff that you could hang your hat on. But I think this movie exists in a different realm. Not in terms of story, but in terms of like where it is in Hollywood.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you at the end.
Oh, you'll tell me at the end. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
I was looking. Oh, here. This is what I wanted to find because I feel like it's just, it's that world of Tron, and there's Bit, and there's the old school Lightcycles, and I kind of love the whole thing.
I forgot how they got on the old Lightcycles where it's just the bar and it kind of forms around them. I was like, yeah, that's cool.
And they've got this different glow about them when they're in this world.
Yes.
Although this is supposed to be like the 80s version, and yet the Kevin Flynn that we meet in here is kind of like the one right out of Legacy. because he's like
I
the
think that's because that's when he went into the grid.
oh yeah, okay, because he's like he's got no shoes and he's wearing like the monk robe and like that whole thing. Uh, Also, why are there identity discs triangles
Triangles?
instead of circles?
I don't know. Would look cooler.
Because edges are evil and circles are
No,
friendly.
needs more angles. More angles. Sharp angles.
Yeah, there's some dark moments with those things, especially when
Yeah.
Mama Dillinger gets killed.
Dude, what was that even? Like, just straight up murder. She makes it
She
though.
has to complete her mission. That's the thing
Yeah.
about like
It was
these
murder.
things. Well, I mean, that's kind of like Clue in the first movie. It's like he didn't care what happened to anybody because the mission was clear. The mission was life needs to be this way. And Master Control from the first movie, the same way. Life, I've been given the directive, and the directive is everything is perfect. And that you're an impedance to that perfection, you're out.
Who
So
gave you that order?
it was dark and everything, in etc. But I do think it was. I mean, it followed the plan of what they were talking about. Also, the fact that they bring a recognizer into the real world. This is what we were talking about earlier. I mean, there should have been, I feel like, a little bit more of this, but you think that there was just the right amount of this.
No. I felt like the scope. What we were talking about is that you felt like it wasn't big enough, and I think it was big enough. But I wish there was more of the grid coming into the real world.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's funny that like they didn't really believe, like I don't know, they did believe Eve a little bit of what was happening as she's trying to explain, like, oh, I got zapped into
Yeah, and
the
I think
computer
people knew that Dillinger was behind it immediately too.
because it's all red.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do is you have to show that the bad guy is in all red, and therefore he's the bad guy. Yeah, but definitely the recognizer coming through the skies was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah,
That's
really cool.
yeah, that's something that we've been looking for in the past. So then they they bring back Jared Leto, they bring back Ares, he defeats Athena at the same time. They have like hacked into Dillinger Systems to shut it down, and so it all crescendos into a great victory. And then he doesn't have she's like, what are you going to do now? And he's like, I don't know. So it's like now he has free will and he gets to do whatever he wants to do. And then he decides to leave and go find Sam and Cora because he's trying to find Cora because she's like him. Is that what we understand it to be?
They do the Batman ending. It's the same way the Batman trilogy ends.
How do we know?
Lifting a cup.
How do we know that? How did he know about Cora?
I think that they just Okay.
All
right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. You got me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but apparently he knows Cora is like him, and he's going to go find her. So that would have led to the movie I was looking for.
Programs talk, Rob. Programs talk.
No, he's not a program anymore. He's a real boy.
Well, he was a program before, and he left with all his program knowledge.
I guess so, man. I guess so. So anyway, Cora is a real girl, but I guess that was the thing with Cora was like she had permanence already. Like we didn't question about permanence when she came into this world.
Yeah, Cora didn't disappear after 29 minutes. Well, maybe that's because Flynn always had the permanence code and he hit it.
Plus, she was a different
tons of holes.
She was a different species, sort of. Like it was like life was discovered on the grid, right? So it wasn't.
Yeah.
So maybe that was the thing. Okay. So before we move on to talk about and what? No, before I was going to say before we go in to talk about anything else, was there anything else about the movie? So we'll pause on the movie for a second. We'll go talk about the attraction overlay, and then we'll come back and get final thoughts on the movie. But was there anything else? Oh, the post-credit scene. Did you watch the post-credit scene?
I think so.
Tell me what do you mean you think so?
Tell me, and I'll tell you if I saw it.
with Julian getting pulled into the grid.
Yes, I did see that. Yes, and his identity disc coming up. Yep, I did remember seeing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Again, I was just making sure.
I forgot whether the him looking for Cora was the tag, and then the post credit was Julian getting pulled into the grid.
Yeah. So Julian's about to get taken over by the cops who know that he's basically responsible for having blown up the city.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, he's like, okay, my mom's dead. I can't explain that. My company is crumbling. I'm going to go to jail forever. Let me just like digitize myself and throw myself into the grid. And so he does. And once he does, he gets assigned an identity disc. And but for some reason it's round and it's the old school one. And then when it starts to take him over, he gets that moment right there where he looks just like Sark from the original Tron.
Yeah.
And again, you have left some incredible breadcrumbs here between this and him looking for Sam and Cora. Right? That's to me the disappointment of when a movie doesn't hit the way it should. Will there ever be? Yep. Now we have the opportunity with Disney Plus that they could do something just for Disney Plus to continue this story. They could continue this story in animation. They did it with Uprising. It doesn't have to continue that way, but I would love to see where this story continues from here. There's a show called Firefly that Nathan Fillion was on, and he is working on an animated version of a continuance of the original series. I think that's great. Like, I would be down for another, like, Tron Uprising was a cool show. Let's have another one that's great. That's Tron Evolution or Resolution for me, because I want to resolve all of these issues.
Ooh, that's a good one.
You're welcome. Nice Disney, go do that. Yeah. So I want to get your final thoughts on that at the end, but I want to say thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate everybody being here tonight for our Tron review. I know, again, it's a very divisive thing in the community, and I think even though people may not love the IP, I feel like there is a love for the attraction and its addition to not only Magic Kingdom, but to Shanghai. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But if you haven't already, please give us a like. If you aren't already subscribed, please do that. And again, after we talk about the attraction, before we get our final thoughts, we'll tell you what's coming up and what's on the channel. A lot of exciting things happening, so please stick around for that. But before we do that, we always have to do this, Patrick. And you've already said in the chat ahead of time, you were like, I am not prepared for trivia. And so it's a good thing I don't have much. Because
okay, good.
Yeah. I do have some trivia for you though.
Okay.
And we usually ask 5 questions about the movie that you just saw.
Last week, yes.
Okay, last week. You said you watched it early because you thought you were on last week instead of this week.
I did. Okay. Yeah, correct.
You ready?
I'm ready. It's gonna be brutal.
No, it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be easy. Kevin Flynn made a game called Space Paranoids. In this movie, they are releasing the newest version of Space Paranoids. What is the newest version of Space Paranoids called?
Space Paranoid 6.
Man, without hesitation, you just went straight to a lame guess. You didn't even...
it's not? That's what I really thought it was. I thought it was Space Paranoid 6. I know it has a tag to it, but I do not remember the tag.
Panic City.
Right, because it was 6, right? I thought it was.
It was Space Paranoid Panic City.
We got Space Paranoid 6 before we got GTA 6.
Yep. Eve's bike, her motorcycle she drives. What is it? What kind of? There you go. See, that's a layup. That's a layup. I figured you would know that one. That's easy peasy. When I say they, I mean Ares and Eve come back into the real world. They steal a truck and they drive away. What is on the side of that truck?
U-Haul.
No. What's the name on the side of the truck?
Rob, Billy, Brian.
Rob, Billy, Brian.
It's a Southern truck.
A Southern truck.
No idea what's on that truck. There's a sticker. Oh my God, there's a sticker. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna get there, but I see it now.
Shaddix.
Shaddix.
I think it's Shaddix, but he is that's the name of the bartender in the Legacy movie.
Ah,
How interesting is that?
very nice. I didn't even remember that. Good one. Good pull.
Yeah. Um, okay. So you're doing okay. You're doing all right.
No, I'm not. 1 for 3. Well, I'm a Hall of Famer in baseball. We'll see how we go after 5.
Batting 500. That's all you really need, right?
300. Yeah.
Um, okay. So I was looking to see if I could find a visual for this one, just so you would believe me. But at she's being chased by Ares on the motorcycle through the city, and she winds up in a dumpster. What's the name on the side of the dumpster?
Dumpco.
Now, in that particular case, you did go directly
To a lame guess because I don't want to waste time. I do not know.
Dumont
Recycling.
Recycling. Now, Dumont was the name of the guy who was letting people go in and out of the grid in the first movie.
Yep.
So I felt like that was an Easter egg that, again, would have stood out. The Dumont
a lot
Recycling.
of Easter eggs. Yeah.
There were a lot of Easter eggs in there. So, yeah, you're doing pretty good.
Nope. 1 for 4, batting 250. Let's see how we close it out. Do we go 1 for 5 or do we go 2 for 5? 2 for 5, I'm okay with. 1 for 5 is, like I said, it was going to be bad.
When we started this conversation, you said end of line. Who says that in this movie?
The Dillinger says it. He says it when he hangs up the phone call in the beginning of the movie.
Julian Dillinger, yes.
There you
go. There.
All right, 2 for 5. Not bad. No,
easy peasy.
Wasn't terrible.
Yeah, easy peasy. Yeah. We've talked about, I think we talked about, when we talked about Tron, we talked about how Tron had moved into the parks. That is one of the things we do want to look on the plus side, is we talk about the movie and then we talk about how it has affected or manifested itself in the parks and attractions that we love so much, whether they're universal, like last week we talked about Fast and Furious, we talked about the, Supercharged, and also the new coasters that are someday coming, depending on when they can get that figured out. And then in this one, or the last time we talked about Tron, we talked about things like Electronica, the thing they did at Disney California Adventure was like a nighttime party thing. There they took it over, and
awesome.
That was great. That was really kind of sort of a bridge between the old Tron and Tron Legacy. It had the vibe of Tron Legacy, but they had a Flynn's arcade, and that was kind of cool. And then Shanghai did a Tron Lightcycle attraction, and then Magic Kingdom got one that is, so it's Tron Lightcycle Run and Tron Lightcycle Power Run, I think, are the two different attractions, but it's basically the same attraction. So they created that attraction for Magic Kingdom, they added it to Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom, and it's been a huge hit ever since. And if you've ever ridden it, you've ridden it, right?
I have not.
Oh.
I am going to ride it this trip. I'm going to get over my self-consciousness and just hop aboard.
Okay. So during this movie, or during the time that they released this movie, they did something which I thought was pretty cool, is that they did an overlay of the original Tron Lightcycle vibe with the music of Nine Inch Nails, with a little bit of a new story, and with a lot of red lighting, very similar to this movie. So it was an overlay on Tron Lightcycle Run at Magic Kingdom, and it ran from September 15th of 2025, so you would have seen it before the movie came out, through January 19th of 2026. Personally, I would love this to be like randomly thrown in, because it feels like something that you could actually throw in,
like during Halloween.
There you go. That would be a good thing. I just mean
which
randomly, like
already.
Every third one. Like, I mean, it feels like something you could add into it as like a random thing that would just happen during the course of the day. Maybe not. Maybe there's too many pieces to it, because there's more than one car inside the tunnel. I mean, or inside the building at the same time. So maybe you would have seen different lighting. I don't know. But it had it changed the canopy lighting on the outside. I
know,
feel
it
like I
looked
can talk
sick.
about what actually happened on it because it's like
Yeah, you don't have to worry
it's
about
gone.
spoiling it. Yeah.
So when you're on the light cycle and they take you and you're about ready to launch, the thing kind of turns red and it's like master control is taken over your light cycle and they launch you. Master control launches you in, and as you launch, everything that's blue slowly turns to red, which is awesome, like a virus running through. And then you go into the building and some of the things are different. Like there's a thing inside the ride when you looks like you're riding next to somebody, but it's I feel like it's a spoiler for you because you haven't ridden it, but you've seen like
It's
ride
fine.
throughs, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically like a mirror of you. So
Yeah.
when you're riding through there, you hear the voice go, "Ignore them." Like we have to go on our mission. Ignore them. Like in the current version, it's like you're racing someone else, and in that one, he's just like, "No, we have to reach our mission." And by the time you get to the end, they've cured or overtaken master control and righted the ship, and everything is fine again. The on ride photo was red with the red background lighting. It was just a neat way to make it different, and you didn't have to. That one never has like no line.
Agreed.
So you didn't have to do that kind of a thing, but they did, and I love that they did. I just wish we could see it more often. Thoughts? What are your thoughts? You have thoughts.
I think that it should be like a party. Why is that not going on during the Halloween party? Heck, even the Christmas party. Red's a Christmas color. Why can't we pop that in? And no one's going to Disney World and that once in a lifetime trip is going to be like, oh no, I got Tron Ares instead of regular Tron. I'm so upset.
I got Conga
No.
instead of September.
I mean, that for some people is a big deal. I've only gotten September, which is crazy to think about.
Oof.
Um, but why are we not doing this? It doesn't seem expensive. It seems like something you could do on the cheap. Let's do it. Bring it in for the parties. Make it part of the hard ticket stuff. That looks
Yeah.
so cool. So
Right?
cool.
No, don't get me wrong. Like the blue is always cool.
The blue,
but
yeah.
but the fact that they had that as an option to do, like I love that. And then again, you heard like the music of Nine Inch Nails. That was the other thing that was a little bit different in there. But from the outside, I think it was still the same. It was just your generic, the Daft Punk music and the score from the original is what you would hear outside, and then when you would get inside is when the ride would change for you as you were part of the Master Control takeover. I did it twice. And was very excited to do so. And I was very excited that when I went back to do it a second time, that it was still there. Because we went, I think, right before it changed over. We got to do it one last time. And it was right when Festival of the Arts was happening. And we went in January of last year and got to do it. And it was pretty cool. I would like to see it come back again. It seems like an easy thing to turn on. I don't know. I'm not the maintenance guys. I don't know what has to happen here, but it just feels like something that they should be able to turn on and make happen. So Benjamin's in chat says it looks so great at night. So yeah, well, both of them do. Like Tron is a beautiful attraction. I mean, the lights moving and seeing the car go through from the outside portion of it. It's just a really smart layout.
You know how I feel about kinetic energy. Love the kinetic energy in the park.
Yeah. And they didn't have to take out the Tomorrowland Speedway to do it. I just wish they had updated
But they could
the Tomorrowland
have.
Speedway.
Oh, yeah, update it, sure. Just pave it. Flex space.
Maybe some sort of like Tron Lightcycle racers instead of the old cars that are on there. I don't know. All right. So, and again, we talked about all the other stuff that was Tron that happened. I mean, I don't think that really like Electro Bytes has anything to do with the Tron Ares movie. I don't think they did any in-park popcorn buckets, or I know they didn't. As a matter of fact, because I would have.
Yeah. Why would you say you think you know damn well? I
don't think we've done a Tron popcorn bucket in this country. I think Shanghai did one, but I don't think we've done them here, and I would love to have a Tron popcorn bucket. No. No, they did a lot in the movie theater. That was a thing. Like, and again, you know my rules. I don't buy them from movie theaters because it's a slippery slope because they do way too many of them already, and I don't get them from anywhere outside of a Disney park, and it has to be from a popcorn stand and not something I bought off the shelf in the store. This is how I keep myself possibly sane and not completely 100% broke all the time. But anyway, I would love to see that.
You just got to sell some of your cards, Rob. That's all you got to do.
When the movie theater came out with the one that was the Lightcycle one that you put the popcorn in, I was tempted.
Really cool.
I was tempted, but I did not do that one. So there you go. I did get this shirt from the original. I don't think they had any like of the Tron Ares. I don't think they had any Tron Ares stuff for like just the any merch, and maybe they would have had that had the movie done better. They would have kept the overlay longer. They would have released more merch. I don't know. Okay, before we get final thoughts on the movie, I want to again thank everybody for being here. It means the world that you guys are here. I want to give a big shout out to our PAC, our Park Adventures Club. We love the PAC. Thank you guys for being part of our community. The Park Adventures Club is not only the name of our channel, of our Sunday night park show, but also of our community. And if you want to learn more about that, you can go to patreon.com/GoPack. We love that our community is called the PAC. So GOPAC is how you find us on Patreon. And a very, very big thank you to our Zebra Mezzanine and Treasure Room supporters who help us to do what we do. We have our schedule for the upcoming and the now playing. So last Friday, I did a kind of a D23 Expo 101 that was really more me talking about like everything you would wanted to know about the D23 Ultimate Disney Fan Event, and that was really just more of a walkthrough of the history as I know it, because I was there at the very first one. I've been to each one since. We talked about the difference between the D23 Club and the D23 Expo. We talked about the difference between Destination D23 and the D23 Expo. So hopefully, if you guys have never been, take a look at that video. You might enjoy it. Other than that, our Alicia Stella was so nice to come on the show and do a show with me where we talked about our hunches, hopes, and dreams for the parks panel, specifically from this year's D23 Ultimate Disney Fan Event. We talked about the things we thought were kind of like probably going to be talked about. We talked about some of the things that we wished they would talk about, and then we talked about some things that we were like, they're never going to talk about this. This is just something we would like to happen someday. So if you haven't already, please check that out. It was a lot of fun talking to her, and she was so gracious as to come on the channel and talk to us about that. That was great. Also, if you like to listen instead of watch, all of our stuff is now on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, and iHeart. So you can listen and subscribe to the Park Adventures Club if you don't want to take the time to come hang with us on YouTube, but we hope that you will. That all out of the way. Last week we did Fast and Furious for Look on the Plus Side. This week we're doing Tron Ares. Next week, DuckTales 2.0. So
so good.
The redo of DuckTales, and then Charlie's going to talk to me about that one, and then on 8/26 we're going to talk about that Sabrina Carpenter episode of The Muppet Show, and hopefully by that time we'll know if there is a new season of The Muppet Show coming out. That will be really fun to do. So thank you for being with us tonight. Patrick Hackett.
Yes.
Now is the time. Now is the best time, because as the Disney expert in your community, people come to you all the time, probably asking for Disney recommendations, from cruises to the parks to the movies and things on Disney Plus. If someone said, "Hey, I saw this Tron Ares thing that was on Disney Plus. I'm thinking about watching it. Here's the big one, Patrick Hackett. Would you recommend this movie?"
So this is crazy. I didn't recommend the original film, which still is bothering me, but it wasn't nearly as good as I remember it, and it wasn't as kitschy and quirky. I recommend this movie because it's a different genre than Tron. It's not a Tron movie so much. It is just a Hollywood spectacle. It is this genre of film that has come out that is these big budget blockbusters that are great to look at, to just shut off your brain, enjoy some popcorn, and get it on the biggest screen in the widest format you can find. I enjoyed this film. Jared Leto didn't bother me as much as he usually does. I was able to get past him. And I think that it's just a good, fun action romp that has some elements of the Tron movies in it. And if you don't need to be like Rob and need to have it completely tied into the world and be a direct sequel, just go out and enjoy this movie, shut your brain off, and have a good time.
What do you mean, be like Rob?
You know, get all hung up on the rules of the universe and making sure that it's a direct sequel and the things you do, Rob. You know, the Rob things.
Well, I will say I would recommend this movie. I agree with you, Patrick. I think that it is a fun movie to watch. I think that I wished, as I talked about before, that it had followed more of a sequel to the last movie. This one is just another movie, and it doesn't feel as much. I don't know if you would need to watch the first two to know what's going on in this. Again, they try to, through those intros at the beginning, explain to you what's happened thus far. So I think you will get the gist of it if you want to watch this one on a standalone. I think that if you watch the first Tron and the second Tron, you get some joy out of the flashbacks to things like the original Lightcycle and, you know, Kevin Flynn showing up and things like that. So definitely let us know in the comments below what you thought about it, what you think about it, how you feel about it. We love some comments. You know, it helps, again, just like the thumbs up, it helps people to find us. We want more people to find us here at the Park Adventures Club. Again, a quick rundown of what's coming up. And I showed you guys what was coming up in general, but this Friday we have a trip, our pack trip report. This is a new thing that we're doing. We did one with Stephanie where we talked about Universal Kids Resort. We're doing this one, which is our friend Allison went and took a Disney cruise to Alaska. So she'll be talking about that one. And that is on Friday night this week. And then Sunday night, we will not have a show because I will be at D23 in California. And so we will not have a regular park show Sunday night, but we'll be back the following Sunday night. And hopefully, if all goes well, I'll find a way to do a live stream recap or reactions after the parks panel. That's the plan. Things always, don't always go to plan, but the plan right now is that we'll get on and we'll talk to, we'll talk about our processing in real time of what happened. If not, we'll catch you up on everything that was announced and what it means to the parks the week after on that Sunday night at 8:30. So hopefully you guys will join us Sundays at 8:30, except this Sunday, Sundays at 8:30 for the Park Adventures Club, Wednesday nights for Look on the Plus Side, and Friday night for our TGIF lineup, which could be anything. And sometime soon, Patrick, you and I will probably be breaking some boxes of cards open so that we can figure out how we can get the complete collections of all the things we're chasing.
Yeah, we need it. I need more Giselles. I don't have enough.
Whew. Did I tell you that Attack of the Vine from Lorcana it's the new hotness, and I didn't get on board with it. So
good. That's okay, Rob. You're okay. We'll make it through.
I am not okay. I did get.
Oh boy.
I did get the Trove. I did not get the booster box, but I did get the Trove, and I paid way too much for it. So maybe we'll crack that one open too. We'll see how things go. But again, thank you guys for being with us. We appreciate you. Thank you, Patrick. As always, you're the best. I appreciate you.
You're the best.
Hopefully you guys will join us Friday night for the Pack Trip Report, or come back next Wednesday for another look on the plus side. Have a great week, everybody.